Based on analysis of the top 30 largest non-life insurers in Europe, AM Best has published new research examining the trends in this market. I'm joined by Dr. Mathilde Jakobsen, Director Analytics at AM Best, to talk about this. Mathilde, what are the high-level trends we are observing from this analysis?
Overall, we are looking at a very stable picture. So there were no new entrants into the top 30 in 18 compared to the players we saw in 17. And there were no changes in the ranking between the top 5 players at all. Lower down the ranking, we see some movement, but it's typically just companies swapping places with one movement. Where there's more substantial changes in the ranking, it's largely a result of M&A activity. The top 5 players account for around 50% of the total premium of the top 30, and the top 10 account for roughly 70%, which was stable percentages compared to 17. Despite this concentration and the stability in concentration, the European insurance markets are competitive, and we see lots of differences between the markets. So one thing we observed is that there are a lot of the groups are pan-European groups, but there are also national companies within the ranking that write the majority of the business in their home market.
What about profitability? What trends have you observed across the market in this light?
Yeah, so we looked at the overall profit after tax for the top 30, and this is not just for non-life, this includes their life business as well. Overall for the top 30, the profitability declined quite substantially by around 3 billion compared to the 17 numbers. This is largely driven by one particular company, namely AXA, which had a very marked drop in profitability due to goodwill impairments and restructuring costs. Now that drop in profitability from that particular company was then offset on the total by some positive movements from other companies. So we saw improved profitability at Zurich, AIG Europe, Unipol, and Lloyd's, amongst others. It's worth noting that Lloyd's actually has a loss both in 17 and 18, but it's a smaller loss in 18 than in 17 due to more favorable large loss experience.
Solvency was one extra metric you looked at. How does this translate across the study?
Yeah, so we show Solvency II ratios for the top 30 groups where we have them, so that excludes the Swiss players. And this metric illustrates just how well capitalized the European insurance market is currently. So amongst the companies that we have Solvency II metrics for, only a handful have ratios below 170%, and more than half have ratios above 200%, so very clearly illustrating that very strong capital position these companies are in.
A copy of this report is available at ambest.com. For AM Best TV, I am Edem Kunyahia.